This is how much of a crazy collector I am. So when I was in high school, when I got my license and had a car, I would skip school in high school when I was a junior, and I would drive to Toys R Us. I would like get my girlfriend, I'd pick my girlfriend up, I'd be like, hey, let's skip school today. And she and I, we would go to Toys R Us, and I'd buy robot toys. And
all right, guys, it's David from Red Wagon Dioramas and my friend Chris.
I'm Chris, also known as The Collector77 on Instagram.
Yep, look him up. This is his collection tour video. We are very excited to bring this to you today. It's going to be an epic walkthrough of an amazing collection that Chris has been collecting for apparently forever.
Since 1978-ish.
1978. So when did he start collecting? When did he stop? He's been collecting his
whole life.
Whole life. So he has some childhood pieces in here. He's got some brand new pieces in here. He's probably got a bunch of stuff maybe you haven't seen, which is going to be pretty cool to show you guys. So come with us. We're going to do an epic tour of his collection. If you're new to the channel, I'd love it if you guys subscribed, hit the like button for me, and leave us some comments below. Chris would love to hear from you.
Let me know what you think.
Hey guys, quick editorial note. I had to break this video into 2 parts because the collection tour was just like so long. It took like almost 2 hours to film everything. So I've got part 1 right now. I've got part 2 coming. I think in about 2 weeks I'll post that. 2 things to think about while you're watching. Is there something in this video that really stood out to you as an amazing piece? Maybe something you've never seen before or just is super cool? Let us know in the comments. Secondly, is there something in this collection video that you'd like to know more about from Chris? It'd be interesting to hear that as well. All right, guys, enjoy the video.
So here we go, guys.
Don't knock anything over.
Don't knock
me. No.
You can.
Sing like Willy Wonka.
Down to the basement. Here we go, guys.
Originally, I called it the Star Wars room. Now I just kind of call it the collection room.
The collection. Here we are.
I guess the best place to start, so you were asking about how I got started collecting and stuff, like my first figures, but so up here, this is literally like the first action figure I ever got back in, literally, it was 1978 for my birthday. The first figure I got was fittingly Darth Vader from Star Wars, and my brother got the Stormtrooper, so I still have them. These are the original figures back from then. And then we collected the rest of them over the years. I would always get a couple in my stocking at Christmas and stuff like that, and just started from there. And then obviously collecting G.I. Joes and Transformers and stuff. But then this is the modern stuff. So now down here I have, this is the, you know, the latest, you know, 6-inch
Star Wars Black Series.
Star Wars Black Series, you know, with the backdrop and everything of those, that whole original lineup.
Yeah, and then going down, you got some 3 3/4 inch.
Yeah, got a little bit from Star Wars Rebels, which I really liked, which was a great show. The little tiny figures they had for a while, and then I have the Black Series ones. And then all the way on the bottom, I've got my Gamorrean Guard Army, or Gamorrean Garmy down there. That was kind of, that was inspired by Dan Larson, Toy Galaxy, who has his, you know, Boba Fett collection, which is the, you know, the Boba set, where he has like over 500. So
yeah,
what I do now is every Comic-Con or show or toy show that I go to, I look for a Gamorrean Guard and I pick one up. So I'm up to 15. So
awesome. 15. I love the Gamorrean Guards too, and that Black Series figure is one of my favorite.
Yeah.
For the
but just continue with Star Wars just behind us. I mean, this is kind of my main Star Wars display, which I just redid. Like I've had this up, but the bookcases I originally had were some Walmart ones that were collapsing, so I rebuilt it with IKEA ones recently, and I just kind of reconfigured everything here. But, you know, this is the big, you know, the big Millennium Falcon that came out in what, like 2008 or so, I think, yeah.
The BMF.
This was one too. I think I saw this. I went to Star Wars Celebration, and they had them on display there. And it was one of those where, like, it was on display, and then it was in, like, Toys R Us, like, that week.
Oh, really?
And you could get them, yeah. But then there's the Ghost. So I have the Ghost. I put the Ghost on the Lazy Susan here, so just the fingertip, you can spin it around to see all the details.
How did you come up with that? Because a lot of people are trying to figure out how to display this massive ship.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. You know, I put it up here. And I had picked up the Lazy Susan cheap at like Hobby Lobby a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, oh, let me put it on there and see if it works. And it just kind of fits in this space. Yeah, but if you do it, just make sure you have the clearance, you know, just do it slowly at first.
Yeah, you got it doesn't have that front landing gear on. It's interesting. So it's balanced enough so it just needs the back 3.
Yeah, just those 3 work. Yeah, I was a little concerned too with the front hanging off like that, but it works.
Yeah, that's a
It really only needs 3 points. One of them's redundant, so
Real nice ship.
at least on the front of the back.
Yeah.
The other big one I have is, this is the bigger Lego Star Destroyer. This is the other one that came out in, like, I want to say that was around the same year, 2008, because I went to the Star Wars Celebration. They had these on display there, and they actually did a contest where they got like 2 teams of 8 people, and they opened boxes of these and had a race to see who could build it.
Really?
Yeah, out of
That's
these
crazy.
teams, and it took them a couple of hours. So I bought one there, and I had this shipped back. This is when it was in Indianapolis, and I had this shipped back, and it took me 2 weeks to build the thing.
Wow.
So, but it's nice. I love it, and I just recently cleaned it all off.
It's an awesome piece. It's so big.
Yeah, and I hung some of the. This is the newer ship. This is Ahsoka ship from the not Action Fleet. What's it called now?
Micro Galaxy Squadron.
These are Action Fleet. These are the ones from Gloob from
Right.
years ago.
Yeah.
So I've had a bunch of those. So I hung those up, and they look good. You know, they're small enough that you can hang them from the ceiling using fishing line and stuff.
And yeah, and all you do is you put in these. I'll just show you guys the hooks here. So just little hooks into the ceiling panels here.
And just use thin fishing line. Go to Walmart
Yeah.
to the sporting goods section, and you get really thin. They have even thinner than this. That'll hold them up, and you can put them in different angles and stuff. Yeah, takes a couple of minutes. Then down here I put the Skeleton Crew figures from the latest show. If nobody's watching that, you should watch it. That's one that my daughter worked on because she was in film and she was an editor on. But she got me the 4 kids for Christmas. And then I just got Jod. I finally watched the finale last night too. So
I did too.
It was awesome.
Great. I really enjoyed the show.
Highly recommended.
I
got my life-size Yoda. So he's another one. I got him on basically half price because they lost the lightsaber, so I made it out of a piece of acrylic.
Just acrylic rod.
Yeah. Just continue with the Star Wars stuff. So this is something too. I'd love for Hasbro to make this in the 6-inch scale. You know, the playset of the Jedi Council. You know, and get all the Jedi counselors. You know. But that was always a cool piece, I thought, the way they sold that with, 2 figures on each little piece or 3 figures, however they sold it, and, do something like that.
It's a really cool display piece, yeah.
Yeah. This is from Andor. These are the latest Andor figures, which I think that the new season's coming out soon,
A couple months away from season 2.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that'll be a good show to watch.
Acolyte, Ahsoka. This is the big AT-AT.
I like your biker scout back here, too. Who made that?
That was Hasbro. That was
that was Hasbro's one.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the Hasbro one when they were making the 12-inch figures. I got that for $50 at Target. That was a Target exclusive. I went and got in line years ago. I want to say early 2000s or whatever, and it came out, and they handed out tickets. I was like the 4th person or something in line, so I got a ticket, and I got it, and they only had 6 of them. So
wow. Yeah.
So this, on the end cap here, I put Galactus and Giant Man, and that's actually a 3D printed ship. That's from Toy Blocks, he's called, on Instagram.
I just saw him on Instagram. I started following him. Yeah.
He's got some great stuff. And those are the Mezco Fantastic Four set I have in there. These are some signs by D. Blake Makes, who, again, if you want cool shelf signs, go check him out, Damian Blake.
Yep.
He sells these at shows and online, so I've been putting those out around. But yeah, Galactus fits. That's the NECA street scene there.
And Damien got to visit this collection because I came here that day and he was here.
Did,
and he got to walk around in person. So he's
correct.
seen this.
Yeah, so he's...
I just love this. Yeah, you've got...
Yeah, you got Galactus, fighting the Fantastic Four. You got Doctor Doom helping him out. That's the Mezco Doctor Doom over there. And again, I got some of the figures flying. I like to do that
nice.
To just hang them up too for the space. And I like to display stuff like this. Like a lot of people will display like all their figures like standing, like this with like 100 figures on a shelf. And it's like, hey, I've got every figure. I like to put them out displays like this where they're,
scenes.
and make a scene and stuff. So
now, obviously, we are in your basement. So, I mean, people will question, you can see that you've done a nice job cosmetically, cleaning it up, putting up paneling and all that. Really nice job with the lighting. I'm sure we should talk about that too. But I mean, this is a basement, guys, so that you can do some amazing stuff. You put some thought and effort into it, right?
Yeah, and most of it, these are all just cheapo bookcases from Walmart. Yeah. But you put them up and you're covering the wall. Like a lot of this is just faux, cosmetic stuff to make it look like it's all dressed up. So
yeah, that's nice. All right, let's keep going around the Star Wars table here.
Then we got from Mando's ship here that blew up. the day after everyone got it, the Razor Crest exploded.
Yes, another
But that's another
Haslab.
great piece, and he's got Santa Claus there, who's frozen in carbonite. I got that somewhere online or something.
That's funny. Yeah, I love this ship. This is a great Haslab.
Yeah, it was a great ship. You wish they would bring it back in another...
Well, the trailer for the movie shows them in the cockpit.
Oh, really?
Of a Razor Crest
so
ship.
maybe
So maybe they bring it
Crazy
back. We don't know.
Crest,
We'll have to see. Coming out in 2026.
That would be a good idea.
We just walked past this Mezco mech. You want to just mention that real quick?
Yeah, I had a little extra space. He's a tough one, too, to fit on a shelf. So that's the big Mezco mech that comes with Cadet Gomez is sitting in the cockpit. And then this is, Dark Gomez here. And Olumu Rook, who's like the bad guy from that series. So, again, I just kind of tucked him in the corner here because I wanted to display him.
Yep.
But that's another piece that's hard to get now. But, if you want it, get it because it's really cool.
So we got more back. So now we're back to the Star Wars. So we saw the Kenner stuff up there on top.
Yeah, but, I wanted to tell you about the Indiana Jones figures.
Okay.
So I got the little Indiana Jones collection here, which, everybody loves the movies. These figures came out, and I didn't have any Indiana Jones figures. Now I have 7.
They all dropped so
cool.
fast. And, yeah.
Exactly. But that's a cool little collection, and I like how it came out quickly, too. I think within a year, right? I mean, all these figures were out.
Yeah, and...
other companies will be like, oh, here's 2 figures. And then a year later, here's 2 more figures,
right.
Like with Invincible. But they did a good job of getting them all out, which I like. These are Mythic Legions figures, which I collect a lot, by Four Horsemen Studios. Highly recommended. A lot of these are custom or semi-custom, or I've got, some painted heads added to figure bodies, or I've done some part swaps and things, but that's the big thing with Mythic Legions, where you can do the part swaps. We got some wizards back here. Some of these guys are from their, they had a special thing at Legions Con, their convention, where you could build figures at the convention.
That's one of the red knight there?
Correct, yeah, that's the red knight, and that's just and
then the green.
The head, yeah, and then the green knights in the back there.
What about this set piece behind here, this giant?
So that was 3D printed. That's something I got at their convention they have every year in November, Legions Con. A guy, was printed a couple of those out and painted them, so I picked that up about 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's awesome. How long have you been collecting Mythics? Did you get involved right off the bat, or did it take you a while to get into the line?
No, I missed the first couple of Kickstarters and stuff, but it's probably 4 years now, I want to say. Three or 4.
And you have quite a few figures, yeah.
Yeah, and this isn't even all of them. I got a ton packed away in boxes and stuff.
I'm just going to show your mice here. Tell us about the mice. Why do you like the mice?
So the mice are neat because it's a custom figure. The heads, this one in the middle I painted myself. These other 2 I got at Legions Con. But Jeremy Gerard sells the little kits where you get like the short, where you do like the short legs and then put the feet on and the shorter hands and stuff like that to build the mice figures. Off of a goblin body. Yeah. So those are neat. And then I got the little wired cape on this one. So I like those. And I got the cat guy in the back there who's going to attack him.
Oh, yeah.
These are the new skeletons they had. The crab guy is a custom.
The crab's crazy.
That's from a guy called CB Make, SEE.B.Make.
Yeah,
he sold a bunch of these. He's making a ton of these. If you go on his Instagram, he's painting up blue. He had a blue one, like a blue crab, and a bunch of different colors. And
very cool.
So I was lucky enough to get one of those. This is the new Snake character that was like a one-off, a surprise release at Legions Con this year.
Yeah.
So they're going to replace that queen person. They're making a new one of her. Then these are the 4 horsemen down here. I've got 3 of the 4 horsemen. I got the 3rd one's in the box, but the 4th one's supposed to come in a couple of weeks, and I'll have the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Nice.
Some other stuff. This is some other just miscellaneous like fantasy figures and stuff I have up here. These are Frazettagirl figures, they're called. Yeah. Recent releases. These 2 are from Fire and Ice, the Ralph Bakshi film there. You got Dark Wolf and Tigra. This guy just came out a couple of weeks ago.
The Panther came with Tigra, right? Yeah.
Correct, yep. She comes with the Panther. These are Xesray Studios figures that are highly recommended. I got more of those over there.
Awesome.
We got some Monster Force stuff down here from Fresh Monkey Fiction. This is another line that people are sleeping on. Pardon the pun with the sleepwalkers here. But if you haven't gotten these, you got to get them now. I mean, these figures are incredible. They come with all different kind of parts and pieces where you can sort of customize their backpacks. Each one of these, this is essentially the same figure, but they come with 3 different heads, so you can put, make 3 different versions. You can customize each of their backpacks. They come with different weapons, different smoke effects. These are, this is like the main bad guy. This is one of the main good guys. Count Dracula is on the good side. But again, these all have, it's the same figure with 3 different heads, so you can display it in different ways. But the detail's amazing, the articulation, so good.
So highly recommended, guys, if you're watching this.
Yeah.
Why do you have 3? What is the rule of 3,
the rule
Chris?
of 3. So,
you like to talk
so
about
if you
the rule of
army
3.
build figures, right, you can go crazy and buy like 20 of a figure or 10 of a figure or whatever to set up things. So like a year ago, I think Jeremy Rice came to me and he was like, hey, why don't you do rule of 3? I'm like, what's that? He's like, you just buy 3 figures for an army builder. I'm like, okay, so lately I've been doing rule of 3. So with these guys, yeah, you have 3 of them. And that way you have enough to do like a little, if they're attacking somebody or if you want them standing next, with the bad guy, you got 3. So that works pretty well.
I just think that's a fun little... and
Yeah,
it helps you limit your spending too. If you're
Exactly.
tempted to, well, I might need 10 bats for my Cobra Legion or whatever. Yeah. All right, back Savage Crucible.
Savage Crucible figures. That's from their first wave. I missed the Kickstarter, but those are incredible figures. These are Animal Warriors of the Kingdom on the right.
Yeah.
So again, just some. I don't have the full set of any of these, but I just wanted to put them out to display them.
Yeah. Another sign by Damien there.
That's his shelf sign there. Really nice.
What do we got down here on the bottom? We got some
There's some Mezco stuff. That's the new Doc Knock there, and then the new Decapod Gang guys, and this is Odious.
Oh yeah.
The kind of one-off figure that Unparalleled Universe did this past year. He was like my number 2 figure this year. He's great.
Yeah,
He's like a little Mezco, but independent guy. He comes with like 8 different head sculpts. Such a great figure.
Soft goods and all that.
Yeah. This is Junkyard Joe was a recent release from Mezco. So just some random stuff here.
Yep. We got some
That's the Brave Star Riff from IG.
Oh, yeah.
Ramen Toys, which is a really cool figure.
Mr. Hyde there.
Yeah, that's Loose Collector.
Yep. Cool. What's this giant Skeletor about?
So that, Mattel did that a couple of years back. They did Skeletor and He-Man. It was that Mattel Creations. It was kind of a special release you could order. I actually picked him up at Dan Larson's show back in November.
I didn't remember seeing him before, so that's
a recent pickup. I got him for a really good price at Dan's show up there. He matches up with, the original Shogun Warriors from the 70s, so I like that. Over here is basically a lot of Japanese robot toy stuff like Mazinger.
This is where you lose me because I'm so ignorant of a lot of this, but go ahead.
But this was, these are Solar Shokogan figures by Bandai, so these are probably going on 20 years old now, I guess. I think I ordered these through, Diamond Select through a local comic shop when they came out years ago. So I got a bunch of these in different scales and different versions. But...
Now, did you watch anime as a kid? When did you get into
this is Voltron, so I started watching Voltron. I watched Robotech. And I just got into the Japanese robots. They started releasing them in the 80s. Bandai started releasing some in the US, and I just loved them. And then I used to watch Gatchaman or Battle of the Planets when I was a kid, so there's Battle of the Planet stuff. These were from... can't remember who released these. These are probably 25 years ago now at this point.
Yeah.
But they have Storm Collectibles is doing them now, which is great. Got some Hellboy stuff in there. Again, those are pretty old. They're hard to get. That's Grandizer on the bottom with the ship that he flies around in and on.
That's cool.
On the right, you got some more Bandai. You got some more Gatchaman figures. Little Gatchaman collection. We got Space Pirate Captain Harlock on the bottom here. Basically, MAFEX stuff. We got MAFEX Dark Knight Returns figures. Again, some of the best Batman figures ever made, and Superman figures too.
Cape is awesome on that Batman.
Yeah, the wired capes. That's when they started really doing the wired capes the right way. And these figures just come with a ton of accessories, and they're pricey, but more MAFEX. Down on the bottom, I got the Sentinel down there from the Haslab
yeah.
Sentinel, you know, and that's another funny thing. People are like, oh, it's so big, where do I put it? I'm like, well, you have a detail off, right? They're like, yeah.
Yep,
Like,
fits
just,
right in there.
Just take a shelf out and it fits right in there.
Bastion down there, and
yeah. Oh, Kitty Pryde keeps falling over there.
yeah, you got
Gotta figure out a way to stick her better.
Sorry, my light guys, but yeah, he's got Kitty Pryde phasing through the
Phasing
Sentinel's
through,
shoulder
yeah.
there. Let's go up to the top here.
Then a bunch of Dungeons and Dragons stuff. These are the new Dungeons and Dragons figures from NECA, which I love. This guy, Elkhorn, I made my figure of the year this year.
I saw that,
so much.
yeah.
He comes with like tons of accessories and stuff. But, you know, you can compare them. I have the original figures down below. And, you know, just the metamorphosis from when I was a kid to what you can get now is just incredible.
Yeah.
And then down the next shelf down are the Dungeons and Dragons figures from the Saturday morning cartoon that I used to watch.
These just came out from Hasbro like a year or two
like
ago,
a year
right?
ago, yeah, maybe a year and a half ago. And I love them. They're great. And so many people were like busting on them. They didn't like the articulation. They didn't like the way they looked. And I think they're perfect. I mean, you have to heat them up. But when I was a kid, these were like dream figures. You know, if you had this set, I mean,
yeah,
it's incredible. And then further down, these are the original Dungeons and Dragons figures from the 80s. So that War Duke is the one, I got that for Christmas probably in whenever it came out, 83 or 84 in my Christmas stocking. But that's the only one I had. I've collected these others over the years. But comparing that to the modern day one is pretty wild. But that's what I played with as a kid. And
that's probably special for you in the collection here.
Yeah. And then on the next level, so these are similar, but these three figures were actually never released. These were ones that came out about 2 years ago. NECA did these. So they took the original prototypes. They actually made the three figures that they never released. And they released them at New York Comic Con as a special release. So I put those out as well. So they're pretty cool.
I didn't know about those.
Up top here, we've got Xesray Studios figures, which I love. Love these figures. This first line of three, this is the first wave. They were like gladiators. Then they released three more gladiators. Then they did some Roman soldiers on the right. Then one of the latest waves, they did 5 figures. They had the 3 female figures that are very hard to get now. People kind of slept on those. And then when they came out, everyone was like, wow, these are amazing. And I think a lot of people bought them up. And now they're going for a lot of money online. And they're supposed to release another wave of female figures soon.
I remember when you showed those at a couple of our get-togethers, I thought, man, these are really cool.
They're really great. I mean, the paint details are incredible. The articulation's perfect. They come with tons of weapons. All the helmets come off. They have alternate hair that clips on. Yeah. It's pretty wild. This is Danger Girl. These are McFarlane figures.
Yeah.
Again, that came out a long time ago. This is kind of like in his statue phase where they're articulated, but not really that well. But that's J. Scott Campbell did, you know, Danger Girl years ago. And I wish they would do modern versions of them, but I got some more Mezco stuff down here. These are the, you know, some of the early Mezco 112s. This is the first Mezco 112, the Batman that came out. I want to say he was $40. I think Bruno and I were debating whether he was 40 or 60. I think it was 40, and then they jumped to 60, and now they're all 100 or something.
Yeah.
Then Star Trek figures, those are the Art Asylum. I think it was called Art Asylum was the company that put those out years ago. Those are great figures too. Just the sculpting on those was amazing. Then you know these guys. These are the Bandai movie realization figures. That kind of that line has petered out. I don't know what's going on with that. They just released.
Last one they did Mando and Grogu,
and then they did the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. They did Obi-Wan and Vader, but I haven't seen anything else in the pipeline recently. Then some Watchmen figures there, which are pretty cool. Love Watchmen.
The vehicle there. This is just a statue.
That's that's Night Owl's ship. That actually came with the DVD set.
Oh, okay.
So you had to buy the box DVD set to get Night Owl's ship there.
That's a cool piece.
Yeah, it's fun. It like lights up and stuff. And got a couple of statues. This is like probably my favorite statue here. More recent pickup of Ken from Gotcha Man that I love, and but it's hard to display him, you know. You got to find a place where he's not going to get hit. And
he's about 3 feet tall. It's a real dynamic pose, huh?
It's crazy. Well, the base isn't part of it. It's a base I got like at the hobby shop. But
okay, yeah.
But yeah, he's probably 2.5 feet tall. Yeah.
All right, so you got a bunch of Batman over here.
Got some Batman stuff. This is the older line of Batman animated series stuff. And again, you look at these and you look at the McFarlane stuff, and it's basically the same, you know? And you lose an appreciation for these figures. I was looking at these tonight before you came over, and I'm like, wow, those are so nice.
They're great looking. They're great looking.
Yeah. Just like the ventriloquist one and the Commissioner Gordon and all. Some nice stuff there. Got some Batman stuff on display. These were, for a while, I collected the Batman black and white statues.
Yeah.
Like, that was like every couple of months they were coming out with a bunch, and I really like those. Then some miscellaneous Batmobiles I have down here on the bottom. And over here, just a ton of Batmobiles I have to find a better way to display.
Yeah.
Kind of a bit of a junk shelf down there.
Thing,
skip over that. Yeah, I got the thing from, this is from the movie that nobody liked but me. But again, these do this. There's like, I think it was $29 or $19.99 for, you know, this big.
Yeah.
You know, and now this would be like $200. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
This is where the Cat's Lair is going to go.
Ah, you got the Cat's Lair coming. Okay.
Yeah, I had the tumbler on here. I had a 1/12 scale, like radio controlled tumbler on here for a couple of years, and I packed that away, and I'm like, I can use this for the Cat's Lair, so I put my Thundercats figures out. So that's, hopefully it fits here. I don't know, I might have to expand it out. Probably will, but
slide it out, yeah.
Got some Kung Fu figures over here. Some stuff. These guys are from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Great movie, highly recommended.
I love that movie.
These three I just got about a month ago. Japanese imports, and then some other miscellaneous. Those are the icon.
Yeah, articulated icons. Yeah,
articulated icons.
Where do you tend to shop for import figures like that? Do you go to like?
Recently, it's like 5K Toys.
You go direct to them. And
5K has that stuff. VC's Toy Box has stuff. Ami has stuff. Hobby Japan. I used to be diehard Hobby Link Japan. Then I switched to Ami. Lately, 5K has everything. You know, they get all the imports. So, 5K Toys.
What about like Big Bad and?
Oh yeah.
Would you still buy through those guys too?
Oh yeah, I have a ton of pre-orders with Big Bad.
Yeah.
So Big Bad Toy Shop. But they don't have a lot, like these figures, I'm pretty sure like they don't have those on there. There's a lot of these imports, like the Muff Toys stuff and all that. Yeah. Especially because the questionable IP issues with some of the stuff.
Big Bad won't touch it.
I don't think they're having it because of that. Gundam shelf, big Gundam fan since the 80s. Just a whole bunch of stuff. Just little everything.
It's a whole bunch of stuff, guys. There's a whole bunch of stuff in this basement.
You can get these in Walmart really cheap. You know, the Big Zan, they were clearancing these things for like $10. And now, again, if you're looking for these, you know, you can't touch them online.
Yeah, that's crazy. So Gundams. All right.
And we got G.I. Joe. So this is some of my G.I. Joe stuff. I mean, a lot of classified stuff. So we were talking about the rule of three, which I kind of violated here. But this is like one of my favorite figures. This was the Cobra Trooper. And when I was a kid, I had 3 Cobra Troopers, and so I had 2 regular guys and one of the officers.
Yeah.
Then I got the Crimson Guard guys over here.
Bunch of Crimson Guards.
I got the Hooded Cobra Commander. So that's a custom painted head. A guy in Australia 3D printed it, painted it up, shipped it to me for like $20. Wow. I'm like, how is that even possible?
He looks great, yeah.
And then the other thing, this is from Gridiron Studio. So Major Blood's sitting in the machine gun throne, which is very cool.
Zoom in on that.
So I don't know if they're still available, but it's kind of a riff on the Game of Thrones throne with the swords and everything. Love that. And he's got the ammo boxes. That's very cool. This is another custom piece. So this is another company. This was on Etsy. I can't remember the name of the company, but that's the Megatron cannon, meshed together with a flak cannon. So most of the parts are the flak cannon, which I have up here. I got the 3D printed flak cannon.
Show that real quick. Yep, right there.
Up there. So that's a 1/12 scale. You can get that on Etsy. And it comes in a kit. It's like, 10 pieces. You crazy glue it together. And then for this one, he just added the scope and this front piece, and everything else is the flak, but then he painted it. And you're like, it's Megatron. Yeah, so that's cool.
So you got your bats.
I got my bats.
Your original bats. Dropping down, we got some more Cobra.
Got the
Dreadnought.
The Dreadnoughts over here that we're finishing off. We got the Hiss Tank. Again, a piece where people are like, oh, where do I put that? I'm like, just put it on a shelf.
There you go.
You know?
Yeah.
This is another 3D printed piece. This is the Fang helicopter that,
Right.
you know, I had the 3 3/4 when I was a kid that I loved. And again, this was an Etsy piece that, you know, they ship it to you in like 15 pieces and you glue it all together. And then ironically, it's doing the same thing that mine did.
The original
where
as a kid.
The rotors
It's drooping,
are drooping down
Yeah.
over time, you know. So
The Fang was one of my favorite vehicles as a kid as well.
Yeah,
I got it for
so
Easter in an
cool.
Easter basket one year, and I just thought, man, that's such a cool vehicle.
yeah. It
The
had
gun at the front and the
yeah,
missiles.
used to move around.
I played with that so much. Loved it.
Yeah, you could put any figure in. I'm just surprised Hasbro hasn't done this yet. You know,
Yeah.
it seems like low-hanging fruit
Yep.
to get that out. But, you know, there's a lot of choices, I guess, that they could do.
You got the trouble bubble down there. You got
Oop, I just knocked Destro's glasses off. Oh,
Pimp Zestro there.
they need to...
Raptor and the Televiper and yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of...
Classified has been a fun line, right? I mean,
Classified's a great line.
Yeah.
Classified. Get another sign from D. Blake Makes. This is a 3D printed vamp, so I haven't even opened the Hasbro one because I built that, whatever it was in...
you got that right
BlizzCon.
before we did the Terradrome, yeah.
It was like 2 days before the show. They
Yeah.
shipped it and I built the thing.
And then they announced the vamp like a couple months later.
Yeah,
It was really
I'm like,
quick
oh,
after
okay,
that.
huh?
You got all your Joes there.
Yeah, tons of Joes. Then the controversial Super 7 Joes down here
Yes.
that people don't like, but I love them because these are the most cartoon accurate figures. If you look at the cartoons and you look at these from the 80s, these match the cartoon perfectly. Even the classified retro card stuff is stylized and
Yeah,
new,
it
whereas
is.
this
It
is
is.
exact. But people complain because these are 7-inch and they don't have as much articulation, but...
And they
I
were like
like
$55 for originally priced.
Well, right, but you can get them all, like, I
They're on
got all
discount
these
now.
pretty much half price. So, yeah.
Get your Snake Eyes down there. You get the Bone Breaker.
This is a $15 mech that if you can find them is available at what was the Dollar General.
One of the cheap.
Dollar General had these for $15, and you can pull out the electronics and you can actually fit a classified figure in that.
It's crazy. It looks
Jeremy
great.
painted one up. It looks amazing. This is
Yeah.
how it comes, and it has like lights and sound for like
awesome.
$15. That's crazy.
Whereas that Mezco mech you got over there was like $400, right?
Yeah, I don't
Oh, I'll edit that out. We'll edit that out. Nobody heard
40.
that. Nobody heard that.
But no, yeah, that's $400, and then
Yeah.
this they're making for $15. Obviously, it's not the same quality, but still.
Let's go up to the top here real quick.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
so you got Serpentor.
I got Serpentor again, using the fishing line to hang him because he's an
Classified.
awkward one to try to put somewhere, but that came out okay. We'll see if
Yeah,
he falls
looks good.
over.
Looks good there. And mention the giant. I forget the name of the
So
snake.
that's the Cobra.
What do they call those things?
I can't remember the name.
Anyway, the
But-
giant.
the giant Cobra mech.
Yeah.
It's like a Cobra mech. So he was actually in one of the episodes of the show, of the cartoon.
Right.
So that they used that giant mech to fight G.I. Joe in like one episode. So some guy made like 500 of those. And it's got articulation. The arms, the shoulders have articulation. The waist, the jaw actually opens and closes.
Oh, I didn't know the jaw was articulated.
Yeah. So the guy made 500. I saw a guy at New Jersey Toy Con. He's like, I bought 100 of them.
Yeah.
He had 100. He had 2 on display, so I picked up 2 from him. But I love that. I love stuff like that, like unique stuff that you can't find anywhere
Right.
else, you know?
Right.
Then this is a gallery edition statue. This is a Mezco 112 Roadblock. That's
Nice.
amazing. That was the first G.I. Joe figure they released. And this is a Mezco Destro.
Yeah, that
which
one's cool. Yeah.
He's like $40 at Amazon
Yeah.
right now. I don't know why people are sleeping on that, but that's an incredible figure. You get extra heads, you get all kinds of effects, and the suitcase lights up. But I don't know, the Mezco Joes, they seem popular, but you can get them pretty cheap.
What about the Dragonfly and the Rattler up here? Were these
This is an original 80s. I got this for Christmas when it came out in like 1983 or something.
childhood toy right there?
So, and then same with this, that's an 80s one from when I was a kid that I kept.
Yeah.
So,
And you have, I mean, did you have, you got all the parts and pieces. And
Oh, I
everything,
have
all
all
the
the
bombs.
missiles. Yeah, yeah.
So
I was very
were you a
particular.
kid who was you took pretty good
Oh,
care
yeah,
of your
yeah,
toys, right? Yeah.
I mean, there was some in between time when I was at college where my mom would let my cousins play with my
Right.
stuff, where they kind of beat on some things and broke them. But for the most part, yeah, I still have a lot of all the accessories that came with them.
I remember before I went to college, I spent a day or two bagging up every single Joe with its backpack and its weapons and its card, and I put all and I had lost stuff over the years, but I wanted to keep everything together, and I think it's just something in our genes as toy collectors.
Yeah,
you know, we care.
Yeah,
other kids are blowing them up with firecrackers or whatever.
Right.
All right, show us what you got here.
This is all Robotech, so this was another big influence on me in like 1985. This came on TV, and I was like, whoa. So the big thing about Robotech, like up until then, like every cartoon was each episode was like one and done, right? You'd watch G.I. Joe, and then have an episode, and then the next episode was something different, or Transformers. So with Robotech, you started watching it was like a soap opera, whereas every episode, it was episodic, where it just kept building in a whole story of like 32 or 35 episodes, where you found out about these characters, and characters died, and all. So I was blown away. And then the mechs were incredible.
Yeah.
You know, you had these transforming jets that were kind of a riff on an F-14 that turned into this huge battle mech, and then the Zentradi battle pods. This is new. This is Kit's concept. I just got that like a couple of weeks ago.
Saw you talking with Dan about that. You guys were pretty excited about it.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And then these are some newer figures they're releasing now that are almost like Mezco type figures of the characters. And then there's older stuff from, some of these are 15 or 20 years old. Some stuff is from when I was a kid. This is one from when I was a kid.
Oh, that's what they took Jetfire from, right?
That is Jetfire. That's my original Jetfire Transformer, but you can see the sun fade on him too.
With the yellowing,
And these are newer versions of the same, that same mold they still use.
Yeah.
Then this is a show called Orgus that was the same animators that did Robotech did this.
Right. And then you got some more just...
Yeah, I got some boxes and stuff. This guy, I got to unbox this Deltanius figure here. That's a Bandai figure. Got to take him out.
I want to feature the Sky Striker here, the Jetfire
Yeah, so
Sky
this
Striker.
is a unique piece. So this is like a cross between G.I. Joe, Transformers, and Robotech. This is like all three combined almost. And I saw this at the Toy Vault, and I'm like, yeah, I got to get that.
At the Toy Vault, really?
At the Toy Vault. And it's obviously the Sky Striker, but it's also Jetfire. It's got the Transformers logo in his backpack, but Jetfire was basically a Robotech jet, that they took and transformed. So it's all three in one, which is pretty wild.
A really cool piece.
And it's got almost all the missiles.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was
That's a neat one.
And I didn't know this even existed. I just saw it at Toy Vault one day, and I'm like, all right, I got to get that.
Yep.
That was, no box, just a trade-in somebody brought in or whatever. But
all right, let's look at your big boys here.
So these are Shogun Warriors. So this is another one. When I was a kid, I never had one. I wanted one, but they were expensive. So this is the first one I ever got. I got this at the Brimfield Antique Show when I was 19.
Wow.
I was there with my dad. I got this, and I negotiated it down to $14. And I went to my dad, I'm like, Dad, I got this for $14. He's like, you should have negotiated more. You could have got it for less. I'm like, Then these are newer. This one I just got over the summer. This is Bandai's re-release of the original Mazinger Z. So this I got at the Bandai store in New York City over the summer. This one is about 20 years old. This was the re-release from early 2000s. And then these are originals that I picked up at shows over the years.
What's the price range on an original like that? I mean,
about $100, 80 to 100. Okay. Like, it depends on the condition. I mean, sometimes you can negotiate them down to like $60.
Yep.
If they're really beat on. But yeah, 75.
I just don't have a sense of
Yeah, I mean the newer ones obviously are more.
Yeah.
These are, but you get it's pristine. You get all the missiles. The boxes are nice.
Yeah.
Then I got some more Japanese, just Bandai robots. These are from when I was a kid. So when you ask, like, how long have I been collecting? So this is how much of a crazy collector I am. So when I was in high school, when I got my license and had a car, I would skip school in high school when I was a junior, and I would drive to Toys R Us. I would, like, get my girlfriend. I'd pick my girlfriend up. I'd be like, hey, let's skip school today. And she and I, we would go to Toys R Us, and I'd buy robot toys. And then I go to KB too, KB Toy Store. They had these on clearance. I got him for like $14.99. I think it was originally like $39. Like, it's too much. I got him on clearance. I got this. That's from the 80s. These are all original things from when I was a kid. The Google dump there, he's from the 80s. That I got for Christmas one year, the Voltron. This I got in like the 70s, probably 78.
Wow.
For my birthday, and my brother got the ship back there that's broken.
Crazy.
But yeah, I've just been collecting stuff my whole life. This guy I got, same thing, in like 78. And then I've collected these others over the years I've just acquired. This is a beater. That I think I took one of his arms to complete the other guy. This was like a one-off. I'd never seen this before, and I've never seen it since. This was like some probably knockoff from Japan that somebody had at a show that I picked up.
Yeah.
So just moving on, I got a bunch of Lord of the Rings stuff. This is some of the old Toy Biz stuff that holds up. Here's some stuff from Game of Thrones. The 4 McFarlane Game of Thrones, where he made 4 figures and then never made any more ever again.
Those, I remember seeing those clearance. I love the Toy Biz Lord of the Rings stuff. I think they did a great job on these.
They're incredible. The detail's incredible. And then they have these are the new Lord of the Rings all the way at the bottom that Diamond's been making, but I don't know what's going to happen with the announcement, whatever it was yesterday, where they're like selling it off or going out of business. So these are all the Diamond ones. I don't have them all. But you can see them next to the Toy Biz. I mean, obviously they're in a little bit different scale, but the Toy Biz ones hold up. I mean, they're so good.
They look really good.
Like the paint apps were incredible, and the articulation isn't quite there, and they get gummy too, when you touch them. But I don't know. I love those figures.
Compared to what else was being made at the time, though, it was way ahead of the typical action figure.
Yeah. This now some He-Man stuff. This is the Matty Collector.
Okay. Yep.
Castle Grayskull that came out a couple years ago. I got some statues up here. I kind of recently put away some of my Mattel stuff. These are the new He-Man figures. I've kept them out.
Did you watch the cartoon as a kid?
Oh yeah, like every day after school I'd watch that.
Yep. All right,
just some miscellaneous stuff here. This is actually Vox Machina. So there were 4 figures made from that show. Very popular on it's on Amazon Prime. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think there's like 3 seasons now. It's like amazing. It's like based on like some anime stuff, and it's really good. That's more McFarlane, where McFarlane made 4 figures and then never made the rest of the team.
Yep. And these dragons here, that's a McFarlane dragon. I know that. What are these two? These were from Big Bad or something?
Yeah, those are Storm collectibles, actually. Storm, and I've got Mythic Legions figures on them. But Storm came out. They made a blue one, a gold one, a black one, a silver one, a pink one. And I'm missing a couple. I have like 6 of them.
Huh.
Or maybe more. And they're great. Wow. They scale perfectly with Mythic Legions.
Yeah.
So in my want for a dragon, I picked up a bunch of those.
Wouldn't it be nice if Mythic Legions made a dragon?
I heard a rumor. More Mythic Legions. Again, a lot of custom stuff here. A reindeer head I just picked up at Legions Con and made that custom figure. And most of these are head swaps or different things.
So you enjoy that about this line, right? Is the pop and swap capabilities, right?
Yeah, just the ability where you can take a figure apart and just put different arms and legs on them and have a whole new character, or just get a different head sculpt and mix them up. You know, even when you're army building, you know, instead of having like 3 or 5 or 10 of the same character, you can get the same figure and put different heads on them, you know?
Yeah.
This is a custom I made, so I painted him myself. That was like one of the first customs I did.
Nice. These are all like, what, dwarves and goblins?
Yeah, a lot of dwarves, a lot of goblins and stuff. King Nogland, who's hard to get now.
That's the one I have. I have that.
You have
I got it at first ChrisCon. Yeah, that's the one I bought.
Oh, that's an awesome figure. This one's Snag. That's basically my favorite Mythic Legions of all time. They just re-released him.
Yep.
So he's a great figure, too. You can get him now.
Now we get the moose.
Some more stuff. We got the Timothy Chalamet head.
Oh, yeah, that made the last video.
So that is from the Dune figure of Paul Atreides by McFarlane, which you can get for like $10 on clearance now, and it fits perfectly on Mythic Legions.
Everybody's joking with you about it.
But the Timothy Chalamet.
You just like the head, yeah.
But it's like a perfect, like, you know, like Squire type figure, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, most of these are like old men or whatever.
Get the centaur in there. And then what's down below here? We got some...
Some more Mythics. Again, mostly like a lot of stuff with custom heads. I got the Kiss figures. I did all 4 of them. I just have one out. I just have Ace Frehley out. This is a custom painted head, the goat head there. This guy they re-released, the Green Elf Ranger, so you can pick up. These are the Vitruvian Hacks figures. These are the 4-inch figures here from Boss Fight.
Yeah.
That's only up the road. And
yeah, they're local here in Massachusetts.
And some older...
They look really nice. I don't know, I haven't really gotten into them, but...
Yeah, I like them a lot. I got quite a few of those packed away and stuff.
Yeah.
They're a little finicky and they fall over, whereas these are a little sturdier and, you know, better posing ability.
You got some Watchmen up here.
Some Watchmen. Yep, that was some box sets. Again, I got all those on clearance at GameStop a couple of years ago. I played the long game, and it's a great little set. A couple of statues there.
Yep.
We got some more statues up on top. We got some...
Sorry, I just forgot about the eagle.
Eagless. Yeah, I got them flying there, yeah.
That is great. All right, Transformers.
So Transformers now. Again, I collected a lot of these when I was a kid. These are some newer ones. This is that new company that's been releasing them with all kinds of intricate details on them, which is pretty wild.
Yeah.
But super expensive, so I have Optimus Prime, and that's about it. This was a company that made this, and they made Optimus Prime, and then they stopped. But
he's pretty impressive, though.
He gets super articulated, about 2 feet tall or 20 inches tall, I think.
It's a double shelf just for himself there.
Yep. These are some of my original Transformers when I was a kid. You know, Jazz and Soundwave were the first 2.
Yep.
And the Thundercracker. Those 3 were kind of my first ones, and then
that's awesome.
I acquired some of these other over the years. This is a model kit, actually. It's one of those...
oh, that's the...
Fury or...
I can't remember the name. Yeah.
And then some other just miscellaneous Transformers and different things down on the bottom.
One comment I noticed, most of your figures are opened up. You have some boxed items here in the back, but you prefer to open things up?
Yeah. Yeah, I like putting it out and displaying it. I mean, unless, like this, I bought, this was like the re-release at
That's the Walmart one, yeah.
So this is the re-release of literally like the first figure I ever got of Soundwave. So I'm like, well, I already have my original, so I'm like, that's kind of cool. I'll pick that up.
Because it's close enough to looks like, that's what I remember as a kid, you know?
Yeah. But I mean, if you're going to go to buy the original one in that pristine condition, it'd be like
a couple $1,000, right?
Yeah, something insane. So, you know, stuff like that's kind of cool.
All right, we've got something cool here.
Yeah, this is new. I just got this a couple weeks ago. This is the RoboSkull that, again, was a Kickstarter. So what this is this is based on I believe it was Action Force in the UK. So when G.I. Joe came out in the United Kingdom, they weren't doing G.I. Joe. They changed the name to Action Force, and they re-released G.I. Joe figures, but they made some original vehicles. So they made this thing called the RoboSkull that's kind of hard to acquire, especially in the U.S. now because it was in Britain. So this company came out and did a Kickstarter a couple years ago and made it like an updated version of it with all these effects pieces. You got the figure with it. You get these little skull walkers. And then it's neat because you can either put 2 seats to fit 2 1/18 scale figures, or you can put 1 seat to fit a 1/12 scale figure.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so I've got the seat in there that fits the 1/12 scale figure. Ironically, and I have it displayed with these guys that are all 1/18. But most of these too. So this is Eagle Force that is by Fresh Monkey Fiction. Made these. So they're the same guys who are making the Monster Force figures. So they released these through Big Bad Toy Store.
Yeah.
So I got a bunch of those that kind of work well with the RoboSkull.
Yeah.
And these are like a riff on Micronauts over here that I liked.
Right.
And I just like the bubble helmets and stuff. They're supposed to be releasing these in 1/12 scale.
Oh, really? Oh.
So they showed some early images, and they're been teasing, so I'm waiting for that to come about. This is a Mandalorian shelf.
Yep.
So this is a lot of Mando stuff here.
Black Series and some smaller figurines.
Yep.
You got the Sandcrawler behind there.
Yep.
That's nice. Then we got, what are these guys?
So these are, what the heck are they called?
These aren't the Egghead ones, are they?
Yes,
These are
Egg Attack. Yes,
Egg Attack.
Egg Attack figures. Not sure if they're still making them, but they're all like super articulated cloth clothing. It's almost like a distorted version of a Mezco figure.
Right.
But probably half the price of a Mezco. But Batman has, you know, wired cape. They get different faceplates and things. Got Stan Lee. This was a convention exclusive that I was able to acquire. But super articulated. The eyes move. You can get in there and make their eyes, look different directions and things. So they have like little expressions. And some people love these. They have whole Instagram pages where they have these running around and like there's different pictures of them like running around their houses and stuff. So those are fun. Down below, this is like an 80s shelf with some stuff from the 80s and some just newer replicas of 80s stuff.
Old Willow figurines.
Yeah, Willow figurines from the day. Some Dune figures in the back. Flash Gordon.
You got a couple mask guys down there.
Yep. I got the two main mask guys.
Did you have any mask toys as a kid?
I did. I had a couple. I had like the little motorcycle helicopter, which I still have.
Yeah.
And a couple of the vehicles. But
I have the orange Jeep. That's all I have is the orange Jeep. I like that.
Yeah, that's another line. I think Ramen Toys is going to be releasing some new mask vehicles. Then some miscellaneous like robot figurines and robot toys from just various companies over the years.
All right, cool.
Here's some diorama stuff I just had out. This is actually a 3D printed version of the new McFarlane set that's coming out. His is like 200. This is like less than half of that, and it's already available, and I already have it in hand. So, again, this is the Toy Blocks guy.
Yeah,
so he's awesome. I'd go, but I got the Todd McFarlane figure with Dr. Zayas interviewing him. Though I did drop the microphone, and the microphone's shattered. So,
oh no,
I gotta crazy glue that, but that's fine. But it's wild what you can do with a 3D printer these days.
Available quick. You got it here before the.
Yeah. Then these are foam dioramas that I acquired from different places. A couple of these, I bought these online, which are amazing.
And you've got a bunch of these, I know, in your collection.
That I use for toy photography and things.
Morpheus.
Got Morpheus in the room down there.
Yeah, that's cool. And then the crossbow here, that was from, who made this again? This was...
This is Detour Customs. He actually gifted this to me at Legions Con 2 years ago. He made a bunch of these, and he was just like, yeah, here, take one. I'm like, really?
That's awesome.
And I love it. And I put a spear in there. That's a spear from a Mythic Legions.
All right, guys, so that was the end of part 1. I will post part 2 soon, and I will link that in the description below, so it's easy for you guys to find.
All right, guys, hope you enjoyed that video. Leave us a comment below. What do you think of Chris's collection? Follow Chris on Instagram. What's your Instagram handle?
TheCollector77.
As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button for me. If you're new, please subscribe, and we will catch you on the next one. May the Force be with you.